This is your daily briefing and you're most welcome to it. Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust update. Catspur, as you may well be aware, issued an apology, but through teeth so gritted that if things don't work out for her, she can always get a job as a ventriloquist. I take a view that nobody in their right mind really cares what somebody tweeted a decade ago. It is, after all, a tweet. But what people cannot be done with, and I really, this, and I think this is a point, I would be amazed if you could super glue either of these clowns to a chair and ask them. They wouldn't get it. The penny wouldn't have dropped. What people are really annoyed about is being spoken down to. And people just can't be done with being patronised, especially by woke nitwits. It's the sanctimony that grates with everybody. The Forster-sounding apology didn't placate fans at all, and both Ms. Law and Ms. Cloak were forced to lock their Twitter accounts as the pronoun-laden pair were told to shove their mother knows best routine up their arsenal tonight. And the club are all out on the looking for the old fan engagement, that elusive magic that football clubs are after. I've got to say, the tweaking of to dare is to do doesn't really sit well with me at all. It's another sanitised product from Enoch. What was wrong with that groovy piece of Latin? I think that really worked. I think people embraced that. Not everybody knew what it meant, but like I say, it was just a cool thing. But given the cost of the tickets, the constant letdowns, and the general abject failure of not winning anything, perhaps dreams duped and diddled is a bit more accurate than dream, dare, do. Talking point for the broadcasters will undoubtedly be the tifo, and this is what you call a shower of Herberts holding up carrier bags over their head to make up a bigger image across the stand. But the carrier bags are 100% recyclable. Got to think of the planet, kids. I just throw this in for because I used to live in Ireland. I think that's not a secret. And even at the very small, they were at the time, Aircom League games, the crowd activity was off the scale. And in particular, I remember one game going to see Bohemians, and Cork visited, and I actually got up with my mate, and we because he used to play for Shelburne and for Bohemians years ago, and we actually went over and went in with the Cork fans, and they had these fabulous, great. They probably were. I'm not into this particular sport or pastime, whatever it is, but they had these enormous fishing rods with these immense flags on, and the atmosphere, it was just amazing. And so this is what I would propose to you as a very straightforward thing. The Supporters Trust is a not-for-profit organisation, but it's got a ton of money in that bank, thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of pounds. Spend some of it, get some big banners made. No need for a consultation process, no need for by committee decisions on the designs and all these blind alleys that these people get involved in. We're not living in 1970s Russia. Get these things done. Just massive, great dark navy, massive, great lily white, and you can have these things on the gantries, the walkways. You can have them around the pitch at the beginning of each half of the game and at the end, and all that sort of business. And I think they'd look fantastic. You can get the ball boys, stewards involved, and then you just roll them up, put them in the tubes they come in, and the club can keep them in their enormous premises. No decisions by committee, no time wasting, just get on with it, get it done. And just the last shoeing on the trust. A colleague of mine made a very valuable point we were exchanging yesterday, and just to ponder this, because I think there's a lot of people that don't feel the trust represents them. And the argument always comes back, well, we're voluntary, and that's great. I mean, to volunteer is to be divine. But the reality is that there are only like 10, 20, whatever thousand people they've got. We've got millions of fans globally. So they're a drop in the ocean. And also, given the government's pushing of the independent football regulator issue, and that's still coming down the line, one of the requirements is for clubs to have meaningful engagement with fans and flans for those enjoying their pastries. We need to do what we can do as fans to make sure the right people are talking to not just our club but all the clubs. And I would suggest, first of all, let me be totally clear, I don't want to get involved. I've got too much on, all right? I'm a busy boy. But there are people out there, and I'm not talking about the kind of, you'd have to be quite selective to make sure, but there are decent fans out there on social media with decent following that have representative views, and they're enthusiastic, they're online every day, and get them involved. They know, what the temperature of the water is, what the mood in the camp is out there. And these are the people that should be liaising with the club and helping to steer the boat in the right direction, if you will. And there are bloggers. And again, I don't want to get involved. I'm a busy boy. But there are bloggers out there and writers who have enormous audiences, far in excess. I mean, I'll be blunt with you. If I only got 10 or 20,000 hits a week, I'd want to know if there was something wrong with the server. So don't be hoodwinked into believing that this is a big operation, that Supporters Trust. They weren't voted in. They don't have a democratic mandate from any other supporters. It's just a group of people that are all kind of like-minded. And the point I'm making to you is there may well be, especially with, I say, this government thing coming down the line, there may well be for an opportunity for them to be usurped and to have people in place who take themselves a lot less seriously and might actually do a much better job. And I tell you something, I mean, what the Trust do well for me, okay, is that they answer questions for, and I'm going to be really nasty, for inadequate people. People who are struggling to buy tickets. They want to know if the game has changed kick-off time or whatever. And people are just a bit kind of, you see the 1-star reviews on Amazon, and many of them, the overwhelming majority of them, are for people who couldn't get the thing out of the bloody box. They're very good, I would suggest, at mopping up that end of the market. But the moment they start coming out, you give them a bit more rope, they just hang themselves in this business. Oh, we shouldn't be doing this, we shouldn't be doing that. Nobody asked you. And like I say, they don't have a mandate. They've got a small group of people. And we shouldn't let... I think it would be really disappointing if they get to still keep on going to the races on all this stuff. There's some great people out there who absolutely live and breathe Tottenham. And again, it goes for all the clubs. And I just think these supporters trusts, they're just sort of cabals of misfits. I've yet to see anything from any of them that makes me think, oh, I'd like to know more about them. Most people are just turned off by it. Okay, so yeah, that's the flags. Am I missing stuff here? Let's just double check. Yep, onto the football. Congratulations to Cameron, Carter Vickers and Joe Hart, who are champions of Scotland with Celtic. You both win a key ring. Spurs could listen now. Mark McGrath for the Times. I've got to tell, I made this comment the other day, and it still holds true. A week or whatever later, the Times are struggling to get purchase in the sort of football transfer rumour world, and this is behind a paywall. Must do better, but don't see me. That would be my comment. Mike McGrath running here with Spurs could listen to offers for Dutch winger Steven Bergwijn or include him in swap deals. Harry Winks and Lucas Moura are another pair who could attract interest from other clubs. This has been written by a 10-year-old. And Spurs have also been closely watching Everton's survival bid and have an interest in Richarlison, Anthony Gordon and Ben Godfrey ahead of the next window. Why are we going through lost property boxes looking for outfits to wear on prom night? I've never understood it at all. And you get all the apologists saying, oh yeah, but if you put him in there... We don't have a team that is flying. We are as dysfunctional as you like. We don't need any more odds and sods. And there are people out there, I would submit some of them, the same people, who were saying, well, if you take Dele Alli out of Spurs, club isn't doing it for him anymore. Sometimes players just run out of steam, and I just don't see the merit. I don't see the merit. None of those players are particularly old. Send them down to the Championship and see if they've got the minerals that are required to come back up again, and then they might have a point to press. Tottenham striker Kion Etete has emerged as a summer striker target for Portsmouth, and that comes from a source in Portsmouth, but they face competition from Championship side Millwall. It would be great if the academy, somebody made the comment the other week, I think on the blog, it was just hilarious, was less like police academy. Can we not bring some of these guys through? What does it take? Peter Crouch. And this is one to think about, because I think it reflects more broadly about Spurs. Peter Crouch came out and said that Sonny is criminally underrated. He's up there with Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. I don't disagree with you, Peter, but this reminds me, I have to say, of those aggressive memes that tend to do the rounds on Facebook in November on the build-up to Remembrance Day, saying, if this poppy offends you, get out of my country. I've honestly never met anybody or heard of anybody who doesn't rate Sonny. Equally, I've never really encountered anybody who's got issues with poppies. Tottenham could be front runners to sign Raheem Sterling if he were to leave Manchester City, and that's coming from virtually every source going. Form guide, here it is, or look away now as you see fit. If we look at it, for tonight's game, Arsenal are the team to beat. Far too many wins there for our own good. The bookies make Spurs very narrow favourites based on home field advantage, one would presume. Antonio Conte has the same squad as he did against Liverpool, and I'm going for the same result, 1 apiece. That's it for now. Good luck. Keep it Tottenham.